Well, the Deputy President of the Nigerian Senate, Ovie Omo-Agege, has officially declared his interest to run for the 2023 governorship race in Delta State, South Nigeria. Omo-Agege of the All Progressives Congress represents Delta Central District in the Senate. He says his achievements as a senator speak for him, as he has fulfilled all his promises to the constituency in both 2015 and 2019. According to him, it is time to leave his comfort zone and develop other parts of Delta. Omo-Agege also says his plan to build a new Delta is hinged on employment and empowerment, development, good governance, enduring peace and security. And for more on this, I'm joined by the Director of Communications and Media Strategy of the Ovie Omo-Agege Campaign Organisation, Ima Niboro. Thank you so much, Mr. Niboro, for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's looking like a one-horse race in the APC in Delta State. Your candidate must be feeling very lucky.
Well, I do not think it's a matter of luck as much as it is a matter of hard work and preparation. Sometimes when you start early, you plan early, and people around know that you are serious and they know that you are the candidate to beat. People don't want to waste their time. Instead, they want to come together and support you and back you. That's what has happened in Delta State. He hasn't gotten the ticket yet, but it's fait accompli. It's basically our only
an easy pass. He's basically the only aspirant.
Yeah, only aspirant. You know, well, they may, some people may crawl out of the woodwork overnight. You never can tell, but it's certainly, you know, he's certainly.
Yeah, you enjoy it while it lasts.
Well,
before they crawl out of the woodwork, like you say.
Well, they won't go anywhere because there's nowhere to go.
All right. The existing zoning arrangement put in place by the ruling party in the state, the PDP, seems to also favor your candidate, as it's the turn of the Delta Central Senatorial District. That's the zoning arrangement has been by senatorial district. However, the Ijaw people are saying this should be by tribe, ethnic, not senatorial district anymore. What does the senator think about this? Should an Ijaw aspirant in the PDP pick the ticket? What would be his chances? Because as you know, the senator was a former member of the PDP, and he knows that the winning votes for the PDP so far have come from the riverine areas where you have a lot of the Ijaw people. So what are his chances?
Well, when you say that the Ijaw people say they want to have a ticket, no, it's not the Ijaw people. The Ijaw people are a proud part of Delta State. They have been part of these processes from the get-go. The Ijaw people fully support zoning in Delta State.
They do?
Yes. They fully support the zoning in Delta State.
However, they're saying it should be not just a Delta Central. It should be an Ijaw person being the next governor.
Well, the Ijaws are not in Delta Central.
Exactly. They have supported the zoning so far.
Yes.
However, now they are saying, let's not do it about senatorial districts anymore, which are 3 senatorial districts. Let's do it specifically by tribe.
It is not the Ijaw people, you get me right. The Ijaw people are not saying that.
What are they saying?
You have a few people.
A few
people who are in the minority. Not only even among the Ijaws. You may find other people coming out to purchase forms and want to run. It has always been like that. Even in the last elections, you know, it was zoned to Delta North. But some people took forms and contested. But usually it doesn't amount. Who won? It doesn't amount to anything.
The person from the north won.
Yes, it follows. That pattern of zoning is sacrosanct. It will not be changed for any reason, because it's not a PDP thing alone. You see, it becomes a fact of life. It's run by a PDP government, but it is the people that vote these governments in place. So whether it's PDP, whether it's APC, it's sensible for us to follow that zoning, and that's what will happen.
And of course, it favors your candidate again. Yes, so let's talk about the power blocks. in Delta politics. Senator Ovie Omo-Agege is from the Ibori political family, whether you admit it or not. As a former member of the PDP, he was one of the contesting aspirants with former Governor Uduaghan. And at that time, a lot of people, suspected, a lot of people confirmed that he was being sponsored by former Governor James Ibori. So the Ibori Factor in Delta State is what I'm talking about. How is it going around that? How is it going about that? Is that not a continuation of the dynasty that Deltans are clamoring against? To say this must end, like what we saw in Kwara State, the Otoge, enough is enough. We cannot have this dynasty anymore. How would this work for or against your candidate?
Well, let me put it this way. The issue in Delta State, yes, people have a little bit of fatigue of what they refer to as the Ibori dynasty, but it is not because people hate Ibori. In fact, Ibori, I believe that, I speak for myself at this point, not for the campaign.
Okay.
But I believe that Ibori tried his level best, given the resources available to him at that time. In fact, I want people that say that development stopped when Ibori left. At least Ibori made an effort. You could see effort. You could see effort. You understand? By the time before when he came, it was from the military, and most of Delta was in brackish waters, But he came, you saw roads, you saw this, you saw that. Of course, there are those who argue that what he did was not commensurate to the resources that were received, but at least he did something. And that is where people like Omo-Agege were with him. People like Ovie Omo-Agege, he was executive assistant, he became SSG. These were the people who were with him, who made sure that at least something was done.
Where? Are you using past tense? Where or still with him?
No. Well, he worked with him. No, he worked with him.
What about now? What about now?
Now, Omo-Agege has come of age.
Okay.
He's his own man.
Okay.
He's deputy senate president.
Okay.
He's number 7 in hierarchy of protocol in the country. He cannot be anybody's boy anymore. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have friends. We all came from PDP. I was President Goodluck Jonathan's spokesman. Now I'm in APC. That doesn't mean that Goodluck Jonathan is now my enemy. You understand? If tomorrow I have an issue and I know it's Goodluck Jonathan that can help me, I will go to him. He will open his door. So if tomorrow Ovie Omo-Agege realizes that he needs Ibori for something, you think he will not ask Ibori for help? He will. Ditto, if Ibori needs something and Ovie Omo-Agege is the person there, he will ask Omo-Agege for help.
Even though they are in two different parties.
At the end of the day, we are all friends. At the end of the day, we are all the same people.
So it buttresses the fact that when Nigerians said there's no difference between the APC and the PDP.
I can tell you, I don't want to sit down here and make some of these, sometimes I call them totally ridiculous distinctions. Parties are platforms to pursue your desire to serve. They are platforms. That's why people move from platform to platform. It's not like elsewhere where you have families who have been, like they say, the Kennedys in the US have been Democrats all their life. You never see a Kennedy that will become a Republican, things like that.
Yeah.
It has taken over close to 300 years to get to that point. We are getting there gradually. But right now,
we're not there yet.
We're looking at platforms. There is no politician worth his salt in Delta APC that is not come out of PDP.
Okay. Let's talk about the issues now. So the campaign is anchored on, quote, the edge to build a new Delta. That's the mantra.
That's correct.
A new Delta. What's wrong with the current Delta?
Everything is wrong with it. The current Delta is the place that has received close to 20 trillion in revenues since 1999. 20 trillion is, let me break it down for you. 20 trillion is about 20,000 billion. I mean, about 2,000 billion. No.
In dollars?
Yes. No, in Naira.
In Naira?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in Naira. It's not, that's not, 2,000 billion is 2 trillion. So it's 20,000 billion. Have you been to Delta?
Unfortunately not.
You should come to Delta. you'll be stunned, you'll be shocked. Delta is a state where poverty walks on 4 legs in the streets. Delta is a state where even us, who are the elite of the state, sometimes are even scared to travel home. Here in Abuja, I go around freely. If I'm going to Delta, I must go with 4 or 5 policemen. Because insecurity, armed robbery, organized criminality, everything that is wrong in Delta State. Delta State has no infrastructure to point out, very weak services. Delta State today is a tragedy. And sometimes it amazes me, because some of these people who are in charge are people you see as ordinarily intelligent people you know socially. So what is so difficult to do a road that will last? What is so difficult? Now, what do they do in Delta State? I give you an example of Bayelsa. When democracy came, I remember at that time that the governor was the late Jesper Lemisia. What he did, he brought Julius Berger into the state. And I learned they were even paying them straight from state allocation. That look, these brackish waters turned this place into a modern, walkable place for us. But in Delta, you don't see Julius Berger working anywhere. You don't see any major construction company working anywhere. You see some silly companies, owned by cronies and friends. They build a road today, and tomorrow the road becomes a waterway. That is why, so we go round and round in circles. That has to stop. We need to build a state with seriousness. A state that we know that these things we are building will last 100 years.
But there are those who disagree with you with the achievement of the current administration, from education to job creation and employment to road infrastructure to health. The governor has been commissioning roads. He has refurbished education institutions, health institutions, and you seem to say nothing good has come out of Delta.
My dear, I can tell you this. Things are commissioned today. Go and check them 1 year later. Can you do that for me? You'll be stunned.
You're speaking to the quality.
The roads, yes. The roads have been washed away. Even in the capital, Asaba, the roads have been washed away. The drainages have been drained away in most parts of even the capital.
So what is your candidate going to do differently? And it's the how. We hear these promises, as Nigerians across board. You criticize the previous administration, then you come to power and then give excuses, and then the next administration is a vicious circle. What would be different?
The most important thing that he is coming to do is to break that vicious circle.
How?
Because he has experienced it, and for instance, we're talking about infrastructure. There is no development without solid infrastructure. How do you get solid infrastructure? It's not rocket science. Get the right people to do the right things. Don't always look for a guy who wants to do the job and passes back half of the money to you.
Those are allegations.
I have not mentioned anybody's name.
So who is taking back money and who is giving back money when you say that?
But why are you not giving these jobs to corporate companies to do? Why? Is there any reason for it? Can you tell me? I don't know why. Okay. Because it doesn't make sense to me.
So what would you do differently in infrastructure? You give it to the companies you're referring to?
In terms of infrastructure, you must choose the best hands to do the best jobs. I cannot want to build a radio station now and I leave you and go and get somebody who I know probably is selling in a marketplace to come and do your job.
Thank you for that commendation, but I'm not ready to leave my job.
No, I'm not. I just mean that.
Okay.
In general
so that's one pillar of the four of the mantra you're promising, because you're promising good governance, development, empowerment, and employment. For instance, in the employment, how are you going to take the numbers higher from where they are currently?
There are very many strategies to do that. First, there is the deep agenda. That one in itself, we even the infrastructure we are talking about. Infrastructure can create serious employment. Schools, education, so many other areas. Massive investments going into core areas of the state to build, enough, enough resources that can keep people gainfully engaged. These things are doable. And that is the idea that we have. To look at the states critically and look at the things that are used to deliberately generate employment.
Like what?
For
Be specific.
For instance.
So that we can hold you to it,
yes.
Should you win.
For instance, let me tell you about, we are using this example of infrastructure now.
Yeah.
If you want to build a good, solid road, for instance, you get the right company to do it, and you get the people, the community, they as part of this process. You get them, to help in the, because you must have a return system by telling them that, look, when you are doing this kind of job, so percentage of the employment you have must come from local communities.
Local content.
Yeah, local content. You must have those kind of things. And that's only one area. Then there's also, the deliberate issues of empowerment. Because the EDGE agenda is education and empowerment. I mean, it's
employment, empowerment, development.
Yes, employment and empowerment. You understand? Employment has to be gainful. You understand? You can be ungainfully employed. So we'll have strategies in place that we already planned out to have people gainfully employed.
And what sectors are you looking at very quickly?
We're looking at health, areas of health. We're looking at areas of commerce and industry. We are looking at areas of massive empowerment. You understand? In all aspects of it. You see, empowerment is an idea, is a mindset.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do, you are building an empowerment plan inside it. Do you understand what I mean? If you want to build a hospital, for instance, how does this hospital, apart from it being a medical facility, how does this create employment? What are the targets, employable people that this hospital is going to employ? So these are the things. It's a deliberate strategic policy.
Are you saying that your government, should you be in power, will go about building new hospitals? Is that what you're doing? Or health institutions?
No, definitely health, like education, is a continuous process.
Okay.
You keep building hospitals. You keep building schools. You'll never stop. You understand? I use that just as example.
An example.
To tell you how you can build empowerment, into your strategy for development.
Okay,
yes.
Great. It's an interesting conversation. Unfortunately, we cannot go any further.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ima Niboro, who is the Director of Communications and Media Strategy of the Ovie Omo-Agege Campaign Organisation. It was great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best.
Thank
we keep
you.
an eye on the things you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
But that's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye.